And we're live.
Excellent. Hey, it's been a while since we last saw our heroes, and we left them hanging, wedged between a mummy and a mimic, it appears. What I don't exactly remember, and I didn't have the time to go back and listen to the recording from last time. So I'm gonna give you guys the benefit of the doubt, and you get to rearrange your tokens in whatever way it seems plausible for the characters to be in that room. Remember that one of you, I don't know exactly which one of you it was, went towards the sarcophagus when the mummy emerged.
Yeah, Emaírel was checking the mummy.
That was Emaírel. Okay, so you would be closest to it. But I'm not sure if the others had made any particular statement where they were.
I believe I didn't make much statement, so I suppose Dr. Arronax won't be very far from the exit. So
I'm guessing Geier was just shuffling along.
I think Evelyn detected magic. I'm trying to remember. I think we did spot magic, but only on part of the room. Is that correct, or am I completely wrong?
I think you are wrong about that.
I know she detected magic. I don't know if she picked up anything.
No, she would have detected magic from the sarcophagus. I think that's.
I
what you
believe
remember.
I believe when I remembered for the last week, watched the ending, you detected magic from within the sarcophagus.
Exactly, that's what it was.
Yeah. So I think we were on alert that something was going on with the sarcophagus on the left, but we didn't know what was up with the mimic. So I don't know. I think this arrangement probably is logical.
Okay. All right. Good. And the mummy casts Fireball. So, give me initiatives, please. Okay, let's sort them. Okay, so Emaírel was moving towards the mummy. I think you went all the way over there, didn't you? I think you.
I don't remember. The only thing that I'm sure about is that this was very suspicious and he reached for his spear.
Yeah, but since the mummy would not have emerged without somebody disturbing her coffin,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that you must have been right next to it. So, yeah. So, Geier, your initiative comes up. Emaírel had, or you had all been quite curious about this strange room. I'll give you the description one more time, which is that this is a room that's filled with weird-looking preserved creatures. You've seen rooms like this in this part of that weird, weirdly constructed castle of Count Karamark before. But here, two elaborately carved and painted sarcophagi stand out against the east and west walls, and a pile of chains lies in the center of the floor. And as you have just discovered, one of the sarcophagus is inhabited by an evil and angry mummy, while the other one turns out to not be a sarcophagus at all. Instead, it turned out to be a mimic, and the sarcophagus is sitting in the corner currently, slamming its lid. And when it opens the lid of the sarcophagus, you can see giant teeth and a disgustingly purple giant tongue resting inside. and it just snaps and slams its lid at the doctor. Your turn, Geier.
Geier turns towards the mummy and goes like, "Well, you seem to have seen better days." And I will cast Command Undead, taking out a shred of raw meat and a splinter of bone secretly in his hands, crushing them, and little flashes of green necrotic energy emerge as he takes on a friendly tone. "Well, you've seen better days. What might your name be?" Oh.
And the mummy, not having entirely emerged from the sarcophagus, yet is kind of flailing its arms around, trying to get a hold of the edge of the sarcophagus. You hear ancient bones crack as it moves its joints the first time in what's probably a long time, and the smell of decay wafts over to you, and you don't feel like you made an impression on it.
No, clearly not. Then Geier just looks between the mummy, the mimic, and decides to stay where he is, in between.
I don't remember, did we ever successfully commanded undead?
There'll always be a first time.
Yeah, I think it would be the first time in Pathfinder ever.
Yeah. Although, I believe Giesel tried to very heroically command the boss encounter in the what's in the Kazavon castle. Yeah. Submit to me. Anyway, Dr. Aronax, well, he sees that sarcophagus next to him grows teeth and tongue. It is engineering to actually recognize it as a mimic, right? Can I do it untrained? How hard it is to recognize as a mimic?
That would be engineering, yeah. You mean without being trained? So it would have to be a very common. I don't think it's a common threat.
Well, in that case, he will just jump back with panic expression, yelling, "What in the hell is that?" And he will toss a sparkling vial into its mouth, like saying, "Choke on this creature."
You throw, and the mimic gets a reflex save.
No, I believe I miss it by default, and well, he passes a save, so he gets splash damage halved.
Okay.
So that would be 7. Half of the 7 is 3, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
Well.
correct. Okay, so it takes 3 points of damage, and you just see like the explosion just kind of licks over the stony exterior of the mimic, and whatever it is not taking a lot of damage from that. Which doesn't mean that it is not upset by that, and like almost like a feral animal, you can hear it with a raspy voice. You can hear it growl, and it makes an oddly odd leaping movement to take a step forward, and slams its lid at that thing that just threw something at it. So, Doctor, it attacks you as you're standing in the doorway, pretty much. It's a 22 hit, which is 11 points of damage, just like that. And it slams its lid against you, and you realize that the inside of the lid is actually coated in some weird, strong adhesive. And it just stays stuck to you, and you are essentially grappled.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I
And-
was expecting. I
and
was
that's how I
expecting a
died.
curse.
Yeah.
Okay. But so is the mimic at this point. It's grappling with you, so both of you have the grappled condition. Evelyn, your turn.
Evelyn is going to 5-foot step out of that situation. And she's going to shout out to everyone, "Leave the mummy be! That one is mine!" And she's going to cast Eagle's Splendor on herself while using her God, what is it? What's the terms? What are the actions? I've
Standard.
forgotten the terminology. Not standard. The quick one.
The swift.
Her swift action to gaze at the mummy.
Forgot the terminology. All right. Okay. So it does get a save, right?
She's just cast Eagle Splendor on herself, and no, she's just gazing at it.
Oh,
There's no.
okay. But its turn comes up, and it lifts itself, pushes itself up out of the coffin until it is fully in all of its gory glory. And as you behold the mummy, a mixture of just like almost genetic fear of an ancient undead threat like this shakes you to your core. Everybody give me a will save.
Does that include Dr. Arronax?
Well, you can't currently see it, so no.
Does it include the mimic?
Good question.
Oh.
It's technically alive. So I guess they're all creatures. I guess you're right. Yeah,
Friendly fire.
let's give the mimic a save. It's only fair. Look at that. So Emaírel, Geier, where is Evelyn safe?
Is it mind affecting?
Yeah, I would say
Then
so.
it's 24.
Okay. So Geier, surprisingly, the only one who is paralyzed out of fear of this ancient pharaoh is Geier. And the mimic. Which lets go of, well, no, it actually does not, because it's not, you're just stuck to it. It's not actively holding you. It's just that it's the adhesive that is holding you. So it's paralyzed and you're still grappled, essentially. Okay, give me a second to do the bookkeeping here. Okay, that's Gaia, and okay, that makes it easy. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that did not take an action for the mummy, and once it has pulled itself to its full height, it swings one of its rotting arms around after cursing you in what's probably ancient Osiriani. I doubt that you speak that. And tries to slam you. 15. Oh, it's a natural one, I believe. Yeah, so no hit. And then it's your turn, Emaírel.
Well, first of all, he's going to try and see what he knows about both these creatures.
Okay, give me a knowledge religion first. Well, mummies are ancient, or are the preserved bodies of ancient people, most commonly ancient Osiriani high-ranking nobility. You have no idea why somebody would keep a live mummy in a room, because even though it just popped out when you came close, there nothing would have held the mummy back from just pushing the lid of the sarcophagus away on its own. So yeah, you know that they are intelligent to some extent. Definitely more intelligent than zombies or anything like that. But they can't really be reasoned with because they're still animated by just pure evil. They are horrible to behold and have an aura of despair. And they are quite known for spreading a horrible disease that is known as mummy rot. And even strong, potent healing magic has been said to fail against the terrible effects of this disease. So yeah, they're fun enemy. You get one question.
Weaknesses?
None, except fire.
Okay. And for the YT coffin?
That's a knowledge engineering. Yeah. You are trained in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you would guess that it's some form of aberration, because at first you thought that it might be an animated object, but the fact that it actually squeaked or squealed when the mummy came out of the coffin and that caused it to get paralyzed tells you that it's probably more like an aberration, but you have never seen anything like it before.
And he is going to turn around quickly towards Evelyn and say, "Sure, you can handle it alone?"
She doesn't say
Should I-
anything, but her eyes are just glowing green.
Okay. In that case, he's going to 5-foot step. I imagine he can't 5-foot step here, right?
No.
So 5-foot step away, and then he is going to make his spear Aberration Bane. And that'll be his standard action.
Okay. Geier.
Am I petrified with fear?
Yes, you are. Sorry.
Can I get a will save, or what do I do to?
You can take mental actions if you have something that is purely mental.
Pretty much no spells.
Well, except if you have meta magic that lets you do that kind of stuff.
Nope.
Okay, well then there's unfortunately nothing you can do but stare at the mummy wide-eyed and in horror as the vessels in your eye continues to pop.
For how many turns will I be paralyzed? Can I do I not get like a save per turn or anything?
No, unfortunately not. It's just a save or a suck.
Oh, as I'm frozen in fear, can I do a knowledge arcana, see if I know anything about mummies?
It's a knowledge religion, but sure. Why not? It's a mental action.
I have knowledge religion as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know quite a bit about them, and that's probably why you were so terrified. Well, of course you know about them in their worldly, for the worldly reasons, to preserve dead and everything. And you may have always considered that practice a little bit odd, because that means that they take longer to decompose, so you can't reuse a grave as fast if you would do that. So mummification is probably not exactly your method of choice, but it's not the time to get
Certainly not.
technical here. But these things, like the walking and cursing mummies, are certainly a terror from the books that you've seen in Professor Lorimore's home, and that maybe some of them you took to your shed at the what's it called? The
Grave charge.
at Grave Charge. Reading the accounts of these cursed creatures terrorizing their former terrorizing thieves that have taken treasures from their tombs, and now you're here and you're fighting one. It's just too much.
Would
to
I
take.
be able to know if it rose on its own or if someone made it rise?
Well, it is mhm. They are created usually.
Okay.
So somebody must have created it, but they can basically exist indefinitely until they meet a gruesome end. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and you know so much about them. In fact, that just look up their stat block if you like. Doctor.
Well, Doctor is not as knowledgeable about monsters, but he surely can see that he probably won't be able to just rip his hand off this mimic thing, right?
Well, it's quite a strong adhesive.
Yeah.
I mean, you could certainly try.
I think I will try to just remove the tongue to begin with. So Arronax just will throw a bomb into its mouth point blank and exclude himself
Okay.
from the splash damage.
All right. So unless you roll a 1, that should work.
Don't jinx me right here, okay?
Oh, nice. So yeah, you shove a bomb in its throat and then kind of hunker down to pull the lid down as well with you as you go down, and protect yourself from the blast that way. And 16 points of fire damage as the bomb goes off inside the box.
Is it too hopeful to hope that that will release me from grapple?
It is not.
All
It
right.
is really sticky. Really sticky.
And trying to rip off is standard action, right?
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
Evelyn.
Evelyn is going to step around Emaírel and come look this mummy in the face and say, "Do no more harm to these companions, for you are now mine." And she's going to attempt to command undead.
We'll save. 14.
Yeah, it fails.
Really?
Yeah, and it
Told you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it
had
had-
to happen.
it also has penalties from her gaze, right?
Oh, you mean it's save fails?
Its save fails.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right.
The DC is currently 19,
That's
and
what
it's
I
got a
thought.
-2.
That's what I thought. Okay, so command undead is it, or control undead?
Command.
Okay, so it is intelligent, so it perceives your words and actions favorably. So its attitude towards you is friendly. It's not like you can push it around to do whatever you want. It's
So
just
this
good.
is what the feat says, and this is a feat that comes free with the archetype.
Okay.
So it says, Undead that fail their saves fall under your control, obeying your commands to the best of their ability, as if under the effects of control undead.
Aha.
Intelligent undead receive a new saving throw each day to resist your command.
Aha. So it is basically works like control undead.
Yeah, it works. The feat is called command undead, but it works like the spell control undead.
Oh, the feat is command undead. That's confusing. Okay.
Yeah, each day.
Nice.
How,
Okay.
how many days that works?
So it just stands there, and it was mid-attack, kind of trying to maul Emaírel, and he stepped away, and it was already leaning forward to move after him, but then Evelyn swoops in, pushes herself between Emaírel and the creature, and just goes, "No, you're mine." And the mummy at first almost sneering when Evelyn started talking. The smile is just wiped off its face, and its face just becomes this empty mask, as if it is actually dead, and just remains upright for some strange reason. It just stands there, waiting.
I can issue it commands with my voice, even if communication would not normally be possible. Or no, as if it understood me. No matter what language we speak.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say anything. I guess I have to look at the spell control undead. I'm assuming that this is my
I
action.
got it here.
So.
That's basically the same thing.
Does it say anything about when I can command it? Is it this round or other rounds?
It doesn't say that it's an action. So as long as it's not too elaborate, I think like a quick command would just be like speaking. So you could do one.
Okay,
right
all
now.
right. So she'll just look at it and with a little smile on her face say, "Wait here," and turn around.
And it shifts its weight. Yeah, as its turn comes up, it shifts its weight slightly, and just almost like a like an honor guard or something. It just stands at attention, and its empty eye sockets stare past Evelyn across the room as it waits for who knows what. Emaírel, your turn.
I think Emaírel is a little bit scared and wants to step away from the freaky lady once more. And he's just going to pretend that didn't happen, and he's just going to stab a creature, which is the normal way of dealing with the world.
Okay. Against the mimic, that is.
Yeah.
So 29 to hit is of course a hit. That's 18 plus 10. That's 28 points of damage. So the paralyzed creature. Oh right, an 11. That was not a natural one. No. Let me check. That's currently paralyzed. So it's basically flat-footed. No, it's even worse because it's a dex of 0, which is -5, which means yes. The second one is also a hit. So you kill or destroy, or however you want to call it, the mummy, the mimic. And as it goes down with a hissing sound, the adhesive saliva dissolves and releases the doctor from his awkward position. Geier is still paralyzed. Any mental actions though?
No, just utter terror with knowing exactly what mummies are capable of. He's still a bit shocked.
And I mean, you still see what Evelyn did to the mummy, so you've heard of the legendary power. And Evelyn just stared one down and told it to sit tight, and it listened. And it's the doctor's turn.
Well, the doctor will He will lean back on, I suppose it's a bench or a table. He will wipe his hand on his jacket from the adhesive saliva, and I believe for now he will pop a healing potion.
Okay. And that's
Then it will be cure light wounds.
Yep, that's okay. You can see it in the chat. And then it's Evelyn's turn.
Wait a second. He will step inside as well.
In that case, he will still have to do a will
A will
save.
save, yes, I know.
When he beholds the mummy.
Because he will stand in, walk in and say, "Thank you, Emaírel." Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
Так, where is my will save? There it is.
And your face frozen in horror, and your body as well, poised to jump out of the room. Evelyn, your turn.
Evelyn kind of looks at all of them, still shaking in fear, and then looks back at the mummy, and then looks at them and she goes, "Oh, well, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Watch." And
What?
she'll say, "Rub your head and pat your tummy and hop on one foot."
And that's what the mummy does. To the best of its ability.
See? It's mine now, so you have nothing to be afraid of.
That was your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. And it just continues to hop and rub its tummy on its turn, as it
But-
was told.
Yeah, it doesn't shut down her hour of despair, right?
No.
Can
Emaírel?
she order it to shut down her hour of despair?
If she knew that that's what a mummy does and that it can do that, she would be able to, yeah. Emaírel.
So we're not going to destroy it?
Why should we? It's a useful tool.
Are you 100% sure of being able to keep it under your control?
Oh, yes, completely. I mean, depending on how smart it is, it might try to break free at some point, but I have no doubt that I will keep it under my thumb.
Well, at that, Emaírel is going to not exactly relax, but just loosen up a little bit and not take any more actions.
Okay. And the thing doesn't get as safe, so what's gonna happen? The clock ticks down for a couple of rounds more, and Geier finally relaxes and is no longer paralyzed, and the doctor is neither. But the spectacle you're beholding, I mean, I don't know what Evelyn is going to do or is going to ask it to do in the next 2 or 3 rounds that just passed, but it is certainly a very strange thing to behold.
Well then, I guess exploring ancient castles makes strange bedfellows, right? Not.
I'll approach Evelyn and go like, Miss Evelyn, are you sure of what you're doing? Do you know what these kind of creatures are capable of?
That's Lady Evelyn, Geier. And
Did I not say Lady Evelyn?
that's Miss. That's it in proper terminology for addressing a noble.
Right, I'll take note then. But my question stands.
Yes, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I am in complete control, she says very confidently.
Inside check. No, okay, it's like, well, you won't mind if I keep my distance.
I've done this many times before, Geier. It's really nothing to fret about. If anything, the dead are more susceptible to my powers, even.
I've been dealing with the dead for all my life, and this is one of the most uncomfortable ones I can think of.
I could make it dig its own grave if you desired.
Put me out of a job? It was a joke.
Now, I suggest that whilst we have this thing at our disposal, we make it our vanguard as we explore these ruins. Hopefully not too many more ruins. I hate to see such a fine schloss in such poor state.
Aye, aye. Well, I mean, since we got it now, so... And I believe trying to put it down would be more trouble than it's worth, eh? Aye.
I would
Well,
be
at least,
most displeased if
at
you
least,
were to
at least
hurt
it's
my
not.
servant.
At least it's no longer paralyzes us with existential fear. So I'll prefer to see positives in every situation here. Anyway,
Well, can you tell your vanguard to lead the way? Does it know this place? Can you pick its brains?
One moment, actually. So, how much does Evelyn know about mummies?
Enough to be slightly unsettled about this because she also knows the limitations of her powers. And
It's fine. This is okay. Everything's fine.
We're gonna die.
Yeah. But I mean, she's trained in religion, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows the basics about them, including the terrible mummy rot that they can spread.
Okay. So she's like, all right, before we go any further, she turns to the mummy. We're going to establish some ground rules, okay? No biting, no scratching, no harm of any kind to myself or these three here. Don't do that freaky thing you do that upsets everyone. And yes, attack anyone I tell you to. But
So
don't
the-
attack anyone I don't.
The mummy is standing in front of you, towering over you slightly because it's quite tall, and at the same time also still standing in its sarcophagus, giving it a few extra inches. And it just looks down at you, expressionless, as you look up with a finger extended, and being like, "Ground rules, no biting, da da da." And it listens to you like an obedient child.
Okay. She nods at that. She said, and if you even think about trying to defy me, I will pull your bones apart myself. Or have Emaírel do it. He's more likely to achieve that.
Oh, I can make them move inside its carcass.
Or you don't want to know what he can do to skeletal things. But that won't be necessary, because we're friends now, aren't we? And she pats it on the shoulder. It kind of clanks around, and she's like, come on, out of that silly thing. I don't even know why you were hiding in there in the first place. Move on.
Hi. All right. So I guess now that we have successfully dealt with this, we can properly examine this room, including the whatever the stuff that this mummy was buried with, right? Since we are adventurers and all.
Yeah, Evelyn's actually especially interested in the sarcophagus that the thing was in. She's gonna try and take a closer look at that.
Mm-hmm. Well, its sarcophagus was covered in hieroglyphs, and you carefully inspecting it, you notice several hooks that have been driven into the stone of the sarcophagus not that long ago. So the sarcophagus itself is obviously thousands, if not tens of thousands of years old, but these fixtures have been added much time later, so probably not even a decade old. But it's not immediately clear what their purpose is to you. They can be found along both sides of the sarcophagus, both of the long sides, and they are evenly spaced, and there are like 4 of them on each side.
Did they look like they could like somehow hold the lid of the sarcophagus on, like a latch or something?
No, not exactly like that. No, not a latch. They're really just these metal hooks, almost circular, so they're almost closed, but not entirely.
You know, like eye hooks.
Possible.
How high were they?
How high?
Yes. So they're inside the sarcophagus, right?
Yes. And
Like were they at mid height or something?
no, they're quite near the bottom of the sarcophagus.
The bottom. Could it be some sort of contraption to like rope the mummy in, keep it immobile?
Yeah, that could conceivably be what it was used for.
Can your new friend answer us? He lied in there for thousands of years.
What languages do you know aside from ancient Osiriani?
And it just responds in a commanding voice, but with words that you don't understand.
I'll have to spend some time doing a little research then. I was never really one for the dead languages, aside from Necril, of course.
As it so happens, I have capability of making a comprehend languages elixir, but we'll have to wait until tomorrow.
Anything else we see in the room?
Can I make like a linguistics check to try and get a sense of what it's saying? Or how does that work? If I
Sure.
don't know the language, I just don't know it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Give me a or sense motive would probably.
Or never mind.
Sense motive would probably be enough. Well, it didn't respond with much, so you don't feel like it was counting down languages. So maybe all it said was something like, I don't know what languages you speak, but I only speak my language.
Okay. Well, I'm inclined to agree with Emaírel here regarding the nature of these hooks. I suspect this thing was being kept in place in some sort of mechanism preventing it from moving until perhaps we triggered it somehow.
Oh, the chains. Would the chains fit?
Like a glove.
So it was
something freed it?
wait, so you mean it was chained in the center of this room, and now it's not?
No. The chains are neatly piled in the center of the room, but it's not like it was chained down there. Somebody must have taken the chains off the mummy and then placed them almost as if to demonstrate, see, it's no longer chained.
I was ready to blame this on the mimic.
Perhaps this was. Are there any signs that this sarcophagus was moved here recently?
You had a pretty high perception when you examined it, and the floor, the wooden floor, has like deep grooves where it's sitting. It must have sat there for a long time.
Somebody made a point of unchaining this thing, it seems.
And not getting hurt in the process.
So somebody's controlling it.
They were controlling it.
Well, someone is controlling it right now.
Well, knowing that someone else might be able to control it, do you still think it's wise to keep it around?
Of course. Why wouldn't it be? There's just nothing else that can defy my levels of charisma. I've already given it rules. It can't attack us. It can't harm us. It can't use that paralyzing ability. And should anyone else try to give it conflicting orders, then they'll have me to contend with.
How long will this last?
Well, at least a day. I assume at some point it will gather its willpower and attempt to defy me, but I shall be ready for it. And we can, push it off a cliff if it comes to that.
The dead should remain dead, but oh well, let's carry on.
Yes, well, I didn't reanimate this one. I'm just hijacking it.
Well, whatever you want to do. As Emaírel said, someone released it. Someone was anticipating people passing through here and left it as a trap. That someone might still be here.
I can't wait to I can't wait to see the look on their face when it comes marching right up to their door and tries to eat their nose off. Shall we send it up the stairs there?
Maybe before we do that, we should take a little breather and prepare ourselves a little better. Because as it so happens, I just remembered that I can brew another dose of mutagen. and I could have done this all this time.
Well, if we do so, Emerald will take the opportunity to consume a potion.
Yes, and in this case, if we indeed to take an hour-long break, Arronax will move to one of the rooms with a table. I believe we passed some rooms that had a lot of alchemical equipment, and he will unfold his own portable lab, and he will spend some time brewing a dose of Constitution mutagen.
Well, it didn't really have alchemical equipment as such. It had a bunch of alchemically preserved things, but it's not like the equipment was there. There's no workbenches, there's no Bunsen burners or anything like that.
Assorted flasks.
Right, but they're all already occupied.
Ugh.
Do you have a portable lab?
Yes, I do. I do have portable lab.
Okay, yeah, you can certainly make some space in that in this freakish museum, and watched by pickled eyes and misshaped, monstrous animal things. Watched by those, you spend an hour preparing your mutagen. Okay, I'm sorry about that, but it sounds like Hannes is not going down, so we need to tag her out for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Everyone like
don't know how long it's gonna take.
And while Arronax does it, a smell of somewhat resembling roasted cabbage starts to fill the rooms around him.
Tasty. Certainly just as tasteful as the rest of this place. Yeah, but I'm sorry, I have to run and help her.
So
We'll be here.
we'll wait here.
Yeah, maybe you just hang around. I hope it won't take too long. Sorry about that.
We won't be. I mean, won't go anywhere.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I'm still amazed that we never thought about brewing a mutagen a second time.
I mean, I never really. I don't think I ever encountered that issue with Twitch because I would always kind of use the mutagen as a last resort, so it would be one of the last things I would access during a day of adventuring.
And also, he came back at a point where mutagens were like full day coverage.
Right, that's true. At a certain point, he had it for hours, I think.
Although, in my case, I have a trait that is called unstable mutagen, and it actually says that once per day I can create an unstable mutagen. But then it says that it is just like a normal mutagen, but unstable. So
But that replaces your mutagen ability, doesn't it?
no, it's just a trait. That's the second one next to campaign trait. It's not a class ability. So I believe it just augments my mutagen. So basically, if I brew a mutagen right now, it should be normal one. Well, at least I think so. Because I mean, I really don't think that traits that you pick at first level should be like this radically alter the class abilities. Like, oh man, tomorrow is another episode of Chain of Acheron. So while we are waiting, back to the topic of Fantasy Grounds, I mean, now that our Strangeons game is on some hiatus, I have, I believe, a free Sunday. So if you want, I can try to run some small published module that I have in there.
Sundays usually don't work for me. It's more like a family day.
Okay.
Now I have a little goblin.
Ah, yeah.
I would love to, but I don't think that I can. I already spend 2 days. Well, I don't know. I have 1 day a week dedicated to gaming, and sometimes we do this one too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Sundays are
Alright.
rough. I still have Fantasy Grounds installed. It's still sitting there waiting for me to use it for something.
Yeah, I need to try to run the Forge of Fury for something, because I mean I want to use it for my homebrew at some point, but I need to first I need to see what it actually entails and how it runs. So I actively I'm actively seeking the excuse to rope someone in. I see.
Yeah, that kid looks to be up. Like proper up.
Ian.
Okay. Simon is also having baby troubles.
Well, maybe we will hijack the game into Fantasy Grounds right now then.
Give me a minute because I have to relocate as well because my mother-in-law is here and she's taken over my PC room.
Ay, ay, ay.
I will be back in a minute.